What's up, Starcraft fans? Today we're doing the tier list for blasting off again on Void Launch. Brian, let's do the mutation.
Void Launch is the map where we have to shoot down Amon's shuttles. There are 7 waves of shuttles, which increase in size, number of prongs, and escorts. We cannot let more than 4 shuttles escape, otherwise we lose the game. Random nukes and lava spouts appear on the ground and deal massive damage to units they hit. All enemy units have random spells that they hit you with.
So we have Twotuuu and Eviling in the call with us today. How are you guys?
Alright.
Okay, cool. Twotuuu, how will we rank the commanders this week?
This week, commanders that have good mobility, that can kind of have ways to avoid getting nuked or hit by lava bursts after getting fungoed or something.
Yes.
Will do better. There's it's Void Launch, but you can't really use Static D because of the going nuclear and the lava burst, so you kind of have to use armies.
Yes. How about you, Eviling?
Very much what Twotuuu said, but top of that, if you have an army that's really squishy that can't really be out there, power overwhelming can work pretty good, and you really RNG dependent. So some commanders might be able to field an army out there that might be, but just get lucky, and most others won't.
Okay, that sounds fair. Let's begin. Abathur, where do we have him?
So Abathur, Abathur's brutalists they don't do very well against lava bursts. So getting an early brutalist is kind of not. It's fine. It's not necessary. I actually used P1 for this one, and the bad part about P1 is like it does so little damage against the early shuttles that I couldn't even kill the first 2 shuttles. But once you get 8 devourers with max 125 biomass, they just kill everything. But you kind of have to have good luck to not get like fungal slash and then nuked or something. Your attack waves can be dealt with at home. Without brutalists, your mobility is a lot worse. So yeah, I put him in B. He's fine.
How about you, Eviling?
I also have Abathur from B to C. Pretty much what Twotuuu said. He can't really farm there's no point in farming the early brutalist or even a Leviathan. Because going nuclear lava burst, especially lava burst, if your brutalist gets caught out, gets hit by a nuke, and then a lava burst is suddenly under it, it's gonna die like really quickly. So you're better off kind of preserving that biomass, which P1 is gonna help enable you to do. In order to deal with the first shuttles, usually what I do is I just tech up to Ravagers and get their upgrades and then get the Ravagers out as quick as possible. Try to bile down the shuttles as soon as you can, because power overwhelming is going to kind of wreak havoc on you.
Yes. So we are, you guys agree on B, so let's put him in B. So you're both recommending first Prestige Essence Hoarder?
I would recommend 1 or 2. 2 you can make work, but it's going to be real tricky. I mean, kind of the same thing. First shuttles, your best bet to take them down is Ravagers, and after that you can try going for a Swarm host, but oh man, it's going to be a pikey bloodbath with your Swarm hosts. They're going to get new, Lava Burst is going to get under them, Overwhelming is going to bunch them up and keep them there, so... doable, but not clean.
Okay, let's move on. Alarak, where do we have him?
Alarak, pretty much, he's just gonna get rocked all the way around. Going nuclear is just bad news. You get caught out in the wrong spot. Everything's gone. If you try to go P3, have your mothership, it's such a chunky unit. Lava Burst is going to work it over pretty good, especially if just RNG is going to not let Alarak have a good day. I have him from C to D.
C to D. How about you, Twotuuu?
For Alarak, he's generally not very good against power overwhelming. Against power overwhelming, I like to use Slayers because of the phasing. so they're invincible like once every 5 seconds or so. And but the problem with that is like it's when the enemies randomly cast barrier or something, then it kind of sucks. I use P3 so I teleport out, which is good.
All
You
right.
can also have like one warp prism, so you can overcharge and warp in some slayers if you need to, but it's not really good. I put him in C.
Okay, both of you have him in C. Do you recommend the third prestige?
Yes, for mobility
Cool. All right.
and emergency teleport.
Okay, let's put him in C. Arcturus, where do we have him?
For him, I'm not really sure. I think like because if you use bunkers, they're gonna get nuked, so you can't like have permanent bunkers, but you could drop some. What I did was I had like a small group enough to kill shuttles, and then I let the enemies come to my base where there are a lot of safe bunkers. Bunkers in a safe area will be waiting for them. So that's much better than like going out with a huge army and then getting all of them dying. I think if you miscalculate how many troops you need and then you need to like suddenly summon some to like finish off a shuttle, that could be problematic. So I put him in B.
Okay, how about you, Evilly?
I'm pretty confident with Arcturus on this one. I have him from A to B. Any of his procedures can do well. Each of them will require a different tactic. If you go with P1, you could just spam all the contaminant strikes you can. You don't really have to man the bunkers, man the ESOs, because mainly you just want that volume of from contaminant strikes, which doesn't require you to have any of the ESOs manned. And the good thing is with Mengsk, his Sky Furies do a hell of a lot of damage to the shuttles. So you can kind of, as the shuttles come by, just sneak them in and blast them and get out. Their mobility allows you to dodge going nuclear pretty good. Just make sure, try to not get caught by powerful army. You're gonna get caught once in a while, but in the grand scheme of things, Sky Furies are not the most expensive Royal Guard to invest in. The other aspect that Arcturus can do, especially when the waves start coming toward your base, he has a method to kind of mitigate the damage, aka shadows with their EMP. So how power overwhelming works is there's a grand, like a overall pool that it can take from energy pool that's not really shown, but as long as they have energy in the bars above them, they can start casting that stuff.
Yes.
So two ways you can mitigate that is either take away that energy, which EMP will do, or just constantly throw units at them in a controlled manner to kind of reduce that pool that it can take, so that they are not throwing the real big nasty stuff at you, like black holes, things that sort of kind of keep them using their energy.
If you have
So
bunkers, I don't think black hole will affect them that much, but point taken. Are you okay with A, or is he firmly in B?
I wasn't really sure, but I don't. So like the fury, the shadows is like if you suddenly get, well, that can happen to anyone. I guess they're
Yes.
Yeah.
they're kind of long range, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're really long range, so I guess. But then you also have to deal with like the escorts that come with them, and they also cast spells.
Yes.
So the escorts, if you can hit them with the contaminated strike, all the procedures has contaminated strike. So all I can say is get good with hitting your CS strikes.
Yeah, contaminated strikes.
Okay.
Yes. Are you fine with A?
All right. I
Okay.
wasn't really sure on this one. So
Yeah,
think
I
it's
was
fine.
actually thinking A
A's.
because I thought that bunkers would be a really good defense, and then just even if you miss the contaminated strike, which I think you should do, you should just contaminate strike every wave, so they never get you. You can just use the Sky Furies or Pride of Augustgrad or even rocket troopers with Inhumanity to delete the shuttles, and then on big waves you can just use nuclear annihilation. That'll also work. But yes, I think A is fine, or we all think A is fine. Let's put him in A. Prestige-wise, I think we recommend the third one or the first one.
I would recommend any one of them. Each of them
Okay.
has a different tactic to deal with it.
Okay. Artanis, where do we have him?
Artanis, he can engage and not really commit his whole army, but he does need an army. You can get a lot done with P3 using your Archon dudes. But yeah, you got to be very meticulous on how you preserve that energy. The other aspect is if you are moving your army out and you get caught by fungal or something, and you got a nuke coming down or a lava burst on you, pop your shield overcharge. That will definitely help. Possibly enable you to survive all that and then get out. For me, I would recommend P2 or P3, more leaning toward P3, but can make P2 work. B2C.
How about you, Twotuuu?
This is one of rare instances where I used P2 because P3, what happens with P3 observers is that they get like hit by those psionic orbs and random things, and they just disappear. And then it's like, I thought I had vision, and
Feels
then,
bad.
it's gone. And then, yeah. So I use P2 because with the extra warp haste speed on Dragoons, you can like out muscle the PDDs, and then you can just teleport back. You teleport and get rid of the shuttles, and then you teleport home, and then you have warp haste to deal with the attack wave as well, and that's pretty nice. Still, I don't think he's that good, so I put him in C.
Okay, so both of you agree with C. Is C fine for both of you?
C is perfect.
Okay, let's put him in C. Prestige-wise, use either the second or the third. Dehaka, where do we have him?
Dehaka, you can send creeper hosts from home safely and hit they can reach around the area where the enemies spawn. So you don't really have to go out at all, and the only units that you really have out are like greater primal worms to get vision and a pack leader to kill the attack wave, and then you manually control your locust. Like you press C in a direction, and then you control click your locust, and then you kill. You're gonna float a lot of minerals, so you probably just get regular primal worms, and you can like also detail them to the action, and then use the ability to bypass any PDDs. Yeah, so it's pretty easy. I put them in S.
How about you, Eviling?
Yeah, I have Dehaka from S to A. Pretty much you can do P2. P2 is a good solid one. You could do P3 and just send out Zuihaka, so that way if he dies due to all the stuff that's flying around, it doesn't take much to revive him, and yeah, you can still level him, so just leave Dehaka at home.
Okay, unanimous S pretty much. Prestige-wise, we recommend the second one?
I think 2 is better.
Yeah,
okay.
Same here.
Fenix, where do we have him?
Fenix, he's good because he can do a non-committal army with like P2. You could make it work with P3, but yeah, you kind of want to have more of that staying power for however long they last due to all the stuff that's flying around. But I have him from B to C. Get out to make sure you can handle the first wave. Go for Talus or Mojo first, preferably Talus, since you kind of want some ground presence, and then get Mojo following her up as soon as possible. Make sure to try to max out on the shells for each of those two as soon as possible. Then once you got the first shuttle taken care of, then go for Caldalis.
Well, considering that the first shuttle wave doesn't really spawn until 6:15 and doesn't reach the terminal until almost 8 minutes, do you really need to go Talus or Mojo first?
I would recommend it. I mean, it's just, you don't know what you're going to get caught out by.
Okay, fair. How about you, Twotuuu?
I don't think P2 is that good, since Caldalis isn't that good against the objective. So what I did was I used P1, and then you can have a Dragoon suit, and Dragoon suits just annihilate the shuttle waves. Like you kill everything with your ultimate or whatever, and then you have Arbiter suit to get out if there's any trouble. And I mass carriers, but I don't think it's great because of lava burst. Plus, if you're not paying attention,
plus power overwhelming. Yeah.
Power overwhelming. So
okay.
I put him in B. He's okay.
He's okay. B is okay for you both?
B is great.
Okay. B is great. So first prestige or second prestige? I guess use whichever you're more comfortable with. Han and Horner, where do we have him?
On Horner, P2. So you just go out with probably battle cruisers because they have more HP than wraiths. and then you fly out, and then you kill the shuttles, and you teleport home, and then fight the attack waves at home. You can drop your mag mines on the ramps, and then you have lots of Hellbats and Hellions, and that's it.
Widow Mines?
No, Widow Mines will get killed by Power Overwhelming. So
But it's fun.
I didn't use them.
Fair,
I
fair.
didn't use them.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
I like there are some comps that they might not be very good against. Plus, PDDs really hurt strike fighters. So yeah, I put them in C. They do their role. They hold their
Do
own.
the roll. How about you, Eviling?
I have him from B to C. Definitely P2 will be the better option since, the Sovereign Battlecruisers are super tanky. They can get the job done, and then you can tack jump them out. Just make sure, try to, if you can, get them to where they need to intercept the shuttles or attack waves.
Yeah.
Don't tack them jump in. You gotta try manually get them up there. And
You gotta
then,
preserve
if,
the cooldown.
yes,
Yeah.
if something goes wrong, you can get them out. The other aspect about Han and Order, their mag mines, once you get them armed and set, going nuclear, lava burst, power overwhelming won't do anything to them.
That's
They're
correct.
essentially invincible until they trigger.
They
So
get
you can
triggered.
preset the mines. Unlike Abathur, like all his toxic nests that if you may put up in the forward position are just gonna get nuked or whatever. But Han and Horners can maintain vision in a certain area as long as you can get those mag mines down before they get wiped out.
That being said, the lava bursts and the nuclear blasts always spawn close to where your stuff are. So even if you're Abathur, there might still be a point to spreading excess toxicness around just to disperse the lava and the nukes, if you have the attention span for it, of course. But anyway, Twotuuu, is B acceptable for you, or is he firmly in C?
I think the the B ones are better.
Yeah,
Hanahorn has a kind of like a slow start, and you kind of need to know exactly when to use each top bar. Otherwise, like you won't deal enough damage.
All right.
Or you might get overwhelmed by the waves.
Then let's put him in C. Second prestige.
Recommended.
All right.
Yep.
Karax, where do we have him?
Karax, he's great at not committing an army because he has space lasers, and then when you have to defend at home, just build up cannons. Another way you can play it, I think would actually work out for him. You can actually make use of P2 and just send up. You have a bunch of zealot or sentinels going up. They got 2 lives. They can handle going nuclear a little bit, and also with pair beam.
You only do area.
Then
they could hit. They could theoretically get hit with like three nukes.
Yep. Unless RNG really doesn't like them, but I mean, if RNG doesn't like them, you just make more of them. So it's you're gonna have a good amount of minerals going, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. I have him from S to A.
Okay. How about you, Twotuuu?
I put him in A because you can sit at home and make cannons, but you kind of have to go out with mirages, and you pretty much hope that your luck, like they can take a few hits and they'll get repaired and stuff, but for split waves you might have to like have mirages split up, and that's kind of hard.
Risky.
When there's going nuclear.
Yes.
Or lava bursts, like you might lose your stuff, and
Yes.
it's if you want to use solar lance or like purifier beam, but then in 2 locations or something, then yeah,
It's rough.
you risk losing your stuff. So I put him in A.
Okay, not unanimous, therefore
Still good.
not S. Let's put him in A.
Yep.
Third prestige, right?
Third one.
Or you could go second one if you want to, but you risk losing your stuff. Kerrigan, where do we have him?
Kerrigan, I used P3, and Kerrigan, I think if you put 17 points in the ability damage, the third mastery, you will be able to 2-tap the shuttles unless they use defense matrix. So what I did was just Kerrigan goes out, taps shuttles, and then goes home, and then Ultralisk and stuff will fight off waves at home where it's a little safer. If I need to fight out on the field, then I will like immobilization wave, kill most of the things, and then Ultralisk and Hydralisk come out and kill the rest. Yeah, I put her in B.
Okay, how about you, Eviling?
I have Kerrigan from C to D. I actually would opt for P2 just because of it. She has a lot more mobility. If something is about to make that position really bad, she can hop out. But the other aspect is like it's like power overwhelming with all the stuff that flies out. If it's really not liking you, it can turn Kerrigan into, it's kind of like a fatal attraction in some sense. You don't get really to play the game, so that can be an issue. But as Twotuuu is saying, is like, yeah, just have your Omega Worms out, and when the time is right, pop them out, take care of the shuttles, get back in, and try to just remain safe and not lose Kerrigan.
So you're saying that Kerrigan is worse than both Abathur and Fenix?
Yes, in my opinion, yes.
Okay, Twotuuu, defend B tier if you can.
I don't think. Well, I don't know if P2 is. I don't think it's bad, but like you want to be out as little as possible. So also, I think having a mobilization wave kill a lot of units at once means they have less chance of casting spells. So there are fewer units casting spells, so you can like just use P3 and tap them. I don't think you need a huge army at the end. You just need enough so that Kerrigan is not
Deleted.
the only one taking hit. Yeah. So later on, I guess towards the end, you want more Hydralisks so that you can just like all in on the shuttles and some Ultralisks to tank. But in the mid game, it's mostly Ultralisks because Kerrigan can just tap all the shuttles while Ultralisks are taking hits.
What makes Kerrigan definitely a higher tier than Alarak, Artanis, and Horner?
Well, she has better mobility. So her army doesn't have to come out until it's pretty safe. You don't have to risk losing stuff because it's mostly just Kerrigan who's out. And then your army is in an Omega Worm and they pop out after you immobilization wave.
Does that convince you, Evoling?
I mean, when you say compared to Alarak, yes, she is definitely better than Alarak, who's in C. So yeah, I buy that. B is acceptable.
Okay, so prestige wise, we're recommending the third one. Or do you also think the second one is fine?
I can see making, especially for the first shuttle, you're gonna only have Kerrigan, so as long as you don't lose her to stupid stuff, you should be fine.
Stupid stuff is basically the middle name of this mutation. Blasting off stupid stuff again. So, alright, so use the third prestige, or second if you really like the second prestige. B for Kerrigan. Nova, where do we have him?
Nova, she is going to be tricky. I mean, she's known for, if you lose your army, you're pretty screwed. It's gonna be a little shaky for her, but if you can manage to not lose your army and be very watchful of what's going on, you should be able to do okay. With P3, you're able to get Nova out and kind of just start clearing areas that maybe some other commanders would have an extremely hard time doing just due to the super cloak, but she's still susceptible to all those environmental mutators, so you need to be watching her. The good thing about Nova, she has a get out of jail card with her attack airlift, so if she's really pinned in a wrong spot, you can get her out of there as long as you got 200 minerals ready to go.
Does it save units in the black hole?
Yes.
Oh, very cool.
Yes, it does.
So letter.
And then so that's another, I have her for B to C, just with what you just said, being able to save your units out of black hole. You can make P3 work. I would also kind of somewhat shakily recommend P2, because you have more opportunities to get out if something goes wrong, and you can also get your ally out if something goes wrong on a more regular basis. Which is going to happen a lot. And the other aspect of Nova, she's the only other commander other than Arcturus that can help mitigate power overwhelming with EMP.
Nice.
So you can hit things with EMP, and then that will prevent those units that don't have any more that the power overwhelming energy bar on top of their head. Once it's depleted, they can't cast. It doesn't mean other units can't cast anymore, because that global pool for power overwhelming still exists. It just prevents what you're engaging from using from that pool. So
all right,
whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing, depending if you want to be constantly depleting that pool, it depends upon how you intend to play the rest of the game.
So letter.
I said B to C.
Okay. How about you, Twotuuu?
I originally put her in A, but then I just watched what I did, and I this is so hectic. So I don't think she's A. So I think I'm gonna put her in B because like
Because-
liberators are really strong. Ravens are really good. You can just like mass wipe the shuttles and then run. So you basically
fly.
camp on your side of the map safely,
Yes.
and then like Nova can airstrike the waves because P1 air floats tons of minerals, so you can pretty much airstrike every wave, and you'll kill most of the things. And then you have like you have ebays and stuff spread out to stall them in case like you don't make it back, and use liberators to take out the shuttles, defense drone, and then airlift out if necessary. Or but I think overall she's pretty strong, but you cannot mess up, so you
B.
cannot get nuked. So B.
All right, so everyone is okay with B. Let's put in B. Raynor, where do we have him?
So Raynor, what did I do? Oh yeah, that's right. I used battle cruisers. So it's similar to Han and Horner. It's similar to Han and Horner, except that you have it is very similar to Han and Horner. And last time we had this, there was the lava bursts that like can wreck your Hyperions if you summon them in the wrong place. And here it's the same thing, except you might get nuked too. So yeah, so similar strategy as Han and Horner. Top bars are worse. Well, yeah, than Han and Horner's. So C.
How about you, Eviling?
Kind of the same things what Twotuuu is saying. It's pretty much leading to go with P3 mass battle cruisers, and the slight differences than Han and Horner. With Raynor's battle cruisers, you can get them into position much better since they have afterburners, and then you can preserve that tack jump. And definitely don't be investing too much into your dust wings. You're gonna want Hyperion out as much as possible, and not even with that will guarantee Hyperion will be out that much, because if it gets caught by the wrong lava burst. The one thing I would like to mention is lava bursts are only going to pop up on ground pathable areas. So definitely make use of the non-ground pathable areas to navigate your Hyperion around. Especially like on the right spawn point for the attack waves. Definitely just hang out on the hills and rain down Yamato and just be in that area. Going nuclear can still hit those areas, but I mean your bigger threat is the lava burst for the Hyperion. B to C.
Okay, so both of us or all of us have him in C, so that's gonna be C. Prestige wise, what do we recommend for prestige?
I would recommend P3. You can make P2 work, but I wouldn't suggest it.
Okay. Stet Boy, where do we have him?
Stet Boy, his fields are, his Statolites are going, if you're not P1, they're gonna have kind of iffy up and down time with going nuclear and lava bursts and all that other stuff flying around. But you can make it work. Either way, he's very good in depending on whichever procedure you're using. Just try not to use P3, not for this one. You can make it work by having hit squads of corruptors or hit squads of hydras to take down the shuttles, and with speed zone you can get in and get out. With P1 you'll be able to get in and out very reliably. With P2 it depends upon what Statolites are up and down, so that can be a little bit of an issue. But generally, against power overwhelming, his green zone is going to help out, help sustain through that overcharge on green zone. I have Stetmann from A to B.
How about you, Twotuuu?
So Super Gary is not good against power overwhelming now if he's alone. But if you have other things like corruptors that get rid of the PDDs, then he's actually fine. So I think P2 is good, and you just have your Gary zone ready to run away or a teleport. Just have one or the other. And you don't need to worry about the links. So just put your corruptors in one control group and Super Gary in another. Make sure like they are safe. The links, if they get nuked, who cares? They're just extra.
And they don't die anyway.
Um,
They have hardened shields.
And you you basically play as normal, but you are like you focus more on the you focus more on not getting nuked.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. And you might want to not F2 if possible, but if you do and you lose some corruptors, it's not a big deal as long as your main corruptor force is alive. Put them in A.
Hmm.
And then to preserve your corruptors, just make sure they're fighting in the stat zones so that they can get the recycle, but that's not always guaranteed because PDDs can actually stop the remnants from being reclaimed. So it's not going to be as efficient. But something else to note for Stetmann, for Gary is in general, PDDs do not stop his auto attacks. So, I mean, he's still outputting good damage, especially on P2.
Okay, so are you
It
okay
stops
with...
him now.
That was changed?
Yeah, PDD stop his auto attacks. It does not stop his his E-Gorb.
Must have
Okay.
mixed it up. So what do you think, Evelyn? Are you okay with A?
Yeah, I said A to B.
Okay, let's put him in A. Second prestige is it's the best one. Stukov, where do we have him?
Stukov. It's P3 and it's P3 with losses. So like you deal as much as you can. If they die, they die. And then later on, towards the mid game, you start making tons of liberators.
What do you mean if?
And liberators
More like when. Once
Yeah.
they die, they die. Oh my goodness. So they make
so you make a
liberators
bunch
and
of
then...
liberators and then you right click the shuttles and then you run away. So
my
I put
goodness.
Stukov in B.
B. How about you, Eveling?
I have Stukov from A to B. I would recommend P1 actually, so that way you can get the liberators out early and make a whole bunch of them, and just make a bunker at each of the ramps leading up to your base and just defend there. You can camp your liberators out at kind of midway up the map. There's 2 frozen lakes on each side. You can kind of keep them there.
Yeah.
Just watch out for going nuclear, but the lava burst won't pop up there. And
All right.
once the shuttles come, yeah, just right click.
So Twotuuu, are you okay with A or is he firmly in B?
It's like even though there's going nuclear and stuff, with P3 he still can get tons of like units out. It's not like Twister or Blizzard that kill
Yeah.
his stuff. So it's kind of just like random parts of the conga line will disappear on the map, but then they will continue to like be sent out in waves. So
It's like that. If you've ever seen a trail of ants walking to and from their food, and then you kind of wipe your finger across the path, it kind of stops it, and then they can just go around where your finger was, and then they resume their trail. That's kind of what happens with Stukov. You wipe out a unit, the rest will just kind of continue on their merry way. So the question is, are you okay with A, or is he firmly in B?
I think A is okay.
A is okay. Okay, if you say so. Let's put him in A. I actually had him in B, but A is fine.
Just make sure to make those infested liberators. You can't depend only on the infested.
Okay. Swann, where do we have him?
Swann, P1, he's very well known for mass factories. They're not affected by power overwhelming, and they can survive getting nuked. And lava bursts, they don't really survive that well against lava bursts just due to their slow speed, but just make more factories. I have Swann from A to B.
A to B. How about you, Twotuuu?
I used P0 for some reason. I did not use factories because I was thinking I needed to use wraiths. And then it's like worse Karax because Karax, his units get like free repair beam, unity barrier and stuff, and he has a better top bar. With P0, you can aim your top bars at the attack wave, so most of them are gone, and then your turrets at home pick up whatever's left, and then wraiths will fight whatever attack the shuttles. And mostly, you might lose like 3 or 4 after each shuttle wave, but you can just replace them because you'll have like
A gazillion.
Yeah,
Yep.
I put him in A, but I don't. If you want him in, if like there's an argument for B, I don't object to that.
Okay. Eveling, are you firm with B or are you okay with A?
No, I'm great with A. I said A to B, so.
Oh, okay. Misheard. Okay, Swann will put him in A. Let's move on. Tychus, where do we have him?
Tychus plays normally, pretty
Yep.
much.
Yep.
Yeah, and then if the nuke comes,
Dodge.
you just lift and then you drop him in the same spot. You just lift up, wait a few seconds, nuke is gone, then you drop him in the same spot. You make sure you get the grenade damage upgrade so that you one shot pretty much every enemy that comes out.
Pretty much.
So
Letter
S.
S. How about you, Eviling?
Yeah, in my opinion, Tychus, you can make any of his procedures work. I have him from S to A. The only thing is because he's ground focused, he's always going to be subject to lava burst, but just don't stand in it. Just always be mindful of where you are positioning so you're not getting nuked in the face constantly or sitting in a lava burst. And if things go really wrong, just make sure to always have a medevac platform ready, at least one ready if you get caught out. So don't feel like you have to, if you only have one left off of that's not on cooldown, maybe just consider backing off and medevacing all the way back to your base so that, and give it a little bit more time so you have more of your cooldowns ready. But yeah, small army, he's going to do well, SA.
All right, S. Another thing you can do if, you want to get a 5th outlaw and if you're fighting against like a ground-based composition, you can always get Blaze, who has that upgrade thing. Well, I guess it's like the ultimate one if you don't have prestigious. It's the ultimate one where he takes max of 30 damage for the nuke, so that's something you can do if you're that prestige or no prestige. Anyway, Tychus S. Otherwise, I think second prestige is still better. So that was probably still better. But you can't do the Blaze thing. So there you go. Vorazun, where do we have him?
Vorazun, she has problems against air. I mean, that's just well known. And this is air objectives, and she needs an army out on the field, meaning more chances for things to go wrong. Probably, I'd say she's kind of in worse shape than Alarak. I have her from D to E. My recommendation is just mass stalkers, and if they're about to get hit, at least try to make sure they can blink so they have that cloak on them, and it'll work them back to you get a second chance with them at least.
Okay, how about you, Twotuuu?
P3 is the only prestige.
The only prestige.
I used Corsairs plus Cannons. So a few Dark Templar, but pretty much no Dark Templar. It's mostly just Corsairs, Air Army. Even if the enemy is ground, you just use Corsairs because you need to replace them. They're going to be bleeding all the time. It's like they're either dead on their second life or they got hurt and they're like dying. And then if you if this happens too many times, then you're gonna have no army to fight. So you're really at the mercy of RNG, power overwhelming RNG, and you should always have 1 or 2 hotkeys, dark pylons on hotkeys, so you can teleport out.
Teleport away.
I put Vorazun in C.
C? Oh my goodness. Are you okay with C, Eviling, or definitely D to E?
That's pretty generous in my opinion, because the other aspect, one of her greatest tools, time stop, power overwhelming doesn't care about that. So things can be time stopped.
The nukes do though.
Power overwhelming is, yeah, the nukes stop, but power overwhelming still keep on going. So yeah, I feel even Alarak does better because phasing armor is better than the blink cloak. I mean, yes, you can dark pylon warp them out if you're on it, but the other, yeah, it's a little janky
sketchy
in my opinion. And the other aspect is she has to commit quite a bit to take down shuttles and attack waves if it's on them. The good thing is she has black hole of her own, so it's like you get black hole, you black hole Amon, and you guys just awkwardly stare at each other for a little bit.
Yeah, except Amon has nukes and lava.
Yeah.
Okay.
See,
basically the question is, are they a whole tier worse than Alarak, Artanis, Harrenhorn, and Raynor, or maybe they're the same tier but the worst among them?
I feel more well, it could just be me, but I would feel more confident with Artanis and Alarak and Raynor than Vorazun.
And Han and Horner?
Especially Han and Horner.
Okay. What do you think, Twotuuu? Are you okay with D, or are they firmly in C?
I even without taking enemy comp into consideration, they weren't so good. So any comp that like wrecks cannons will be even
Immortals,
even worse.
Reavers, siege tanks.
Yeah. That
Bleeded a
those
matriarch.
comps would require
Vipers.
more. Would require more
micro.
ground units, which takes away from air units. Are they worse than other ones? I don't know.
I mean, I've seen you play Raynor, Han, and Horner, and I would say you would do a lot better with those two than Vorazun.
I did a lot better with Vorazun than with Alarak. But yeah, at the end of in the last wave, I had like 90 supply with Alarak. I had like 100 supply with Vorazun. At the beginning of the last wave, I had 110 supply with Vorazun.
Yeah, well,
Alarak
Vorazun has a
only-
better retention due to the Dark Pylon recall. so-
Yes.
And
That
time
was
stop.
part of it.
And Black Hole.
And time stop.
Then again, Alarak
But
doesn't
does
have the
that-
hero.
yeah.
So does that just balance out?
I don't I don't know if she's like whole tier worse than them, but she's definitely not very good.
Yeah, I think we can all agree on that. She's not very good. The only question is whether she's a whole tier not good or just the bottom of that tier not good. Is there anyone
Yeah,
worse than
for-
Vorazun?
In my opinion, right now, no, I don't see anyone worse. Alarak, I had him from C to D, so I would like if they're both D, him and Vorazun, then I'll be fine with that. But I can't vouch for Vorazun being better than Han and Horner, Raynor, Artanis.
Okay, so are you okay with that too?
So bottom of
Vorazun,
C or
Vorazun and Alarak being in D tier?
okay. I put those two as the worst. Like
Okay.
those two are the worst.
Then it's settled.
Yep.
We'll demote Alarak to D tier and then put Vorazun in D tier. I think that is a good compromise. Well, not for these two guys, and they're fans, but for us, it's a good compromise. Zagara, where do we have him?
Or Sticksbender.
That's what you get for not attending the tier lists. How dare you live your life? How dare you have a life outside of Starcraft 2 co-op? Okay, Zagara, where do we have him?
Zagara has decent static defense in the form of
Thought you said Zagara S.
bio launchers.
Bio
Yes.
launchers. Yeah.
Her bio launchers can hit all the conduits actually. Although
That's neat.
the area above the left side of the
Expansion.
left main can get nuked, and
Yes.
there are lava bursts there, so it's kind of
Risky.
bad. But essentially, you have like Zagara herself on the field doing stuff, and then you to fight off waves with your free banelings at home, and then you use bio launchers to take care of the shuttles.
The waves. Yeah.
Yeah, the shuttles. You kind of have to know where to hit, and there's a lot of praying that because you can't really see what you're hitting sometimes.
There's
so you kind of
sometimes
have to
gaps.
like pray that you're actually hitting them, which sometimes they don't.
Sometimes they don't.
But yeah.
Letter
I put Zagara in B.
B. Okay, how about you, Eviling?
Earlier, I had Zagara a lot lower, but I just, after being reminded that bio launchers are a thing for any of her prestiges, I encourage you all to go check out Twotuu's video regarding bio launcher placement on Void Launch. It's a good non-committal way to make sure those shuttles don't get out. And in terms of getting vision to make sure you're hitting the bio launchers in the right spot, I mean, Zagara is well known to have a lot of disposable units. Just, I mean, if you got the Overlord speed, send one in, send a Scourge in just to get vision, and then recorrect if you need to.
Yeah.
So yeah, any of the procedures can work. Just each of them require a little different tactic, but yeah, just make the bio launchers and have them have it camp the shuttle exits,
Big
and
bio
then
launchers.
as the attack waves start coming to your base, it's Zagara. Just roll them over.
So letter
A to B.
A to B. So okay, so that's common B. Tutu, are you okay with A, or is she firmly in B?
I think she's B, not A.
Okay.
If you're not sure how to like target the bio launchers or whatever, you're gonna miss shuttles and stuff.
Okay.
Very fair.
Put him in B. Zeratul, where do we have him?
Zeratul, the king of non-committal. Cannon's good.
Cannon's
Great for defending your base. Legion's good. Abathur good. S to A.
S to A. Tutu, did you mine?
I haven't tried this because power overwhelming makes
Yeah.
no mining runs really hard.
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
wondering
so-
that.
But I should
You
try it.
You should try it. Then report back in the comments. So letter
S.
S. All right.
Just make cannons.
Just make cannons. So prestige 2, right? Second prestige.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So your cannons get tons of fragments.
Fragments. Okay. So do we have a double S or nah?
Nah.
Not this one. Power overwhelming kind of ruins that big
Agree. Hard agree. So who's best in S?
Tychus?
time. Yeah,
I
we
think
said
Tychus,
Tychus
yeah.
just plays normally, pretty much.
I think Tychus. Okay. Then second is
Dehaka probably.
I think the Dehaka's better.
Yeah, I agree also with the Dehaka. And then Zeratul, bottom of S, which is still S. Who's top
Yeah.
of A?
Karax.
Karax. There we go. And then Stetboy,
His buddy Swann.
Swann.
Stetmann, I think Swann is towards the bottom of this one.
Really? Because, I mean, defending your base is not too much of an issue. Power overwhelming doesn't affect buildings, so...
I think defending the base isn't much of an
well,
issue for any of the guys in A.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's why they're in A.
Stepman doesn't worry about enemy comps, anything. He'll
Yeah, I
just
think
run them
Stetboy.
over.
He doesn't even worry about
Does
nukes for the
Swann
most
worry
part.
about... Does Swann worry about enemy comps?
Sometimes
I kinda don't
you,
feel-
you have to split the damage of the laser drill. Especially if you're using the first prestige, you have to split between the attack wave and the shuttles.
If you're P1, but, I mean...
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
don't use
P1,
that
it-
prestige, you can use the concentrated beam pulse cannon, which is also very good.
But the other
But
aspect
then you don't
is
have
using
splash
P1
in your laser.
You don't have splash, but if you can somehow lure the attack wave over the shuttles, it's like a 2-for-1 deal right there.
2 for 1. That takes more skill than just side emitter. Go infested.
Yeah, that's true. Stukov is definitely a lot more straightforward on that aspect.
I think I also think Stetboy second in A. Super Garrus a
Yeah,
really strong anchor.
That's fair. I wouldn't put Stukov above Stetmann or Swann though.
Okay, so Arcturus is third.
All right.
Okay, so who's better, Swann or Stukov?
Swann, in my opinion.
Okay, let's put him there.
All right.
Who's top of B?
I'd say
Abathur?
Zagara because B for bio launchers.
Zagara?
She's there no matter what. Even if she's at the bottom, she'll still be.
Okay, so who's top of B?
Abathur.
Abathur or Zagara? We could put these two at the top, I guess.
I like Abathur. I like Zagara better over Abathur.
Because of the hero? She can just deep tunnel?
She can deep tunnel. It's just mainly the bio launchers are a very relatively safe, non-committal way to make sure you win the mission.
That makes
Abathur,
sense.
if
That's
his
true.
stuff gets caught out, there's no guarantee you can win the mission.
That's-
Zagara is pretty guaranteed.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's
Okay,
true.
Zagara best in B?
Yeah.
Okay, and then Abathur, and then Phoenix, Nova, or Kerrigan?
I think it's Nova.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll defer because I'm kind of feeling lukewarm to all of them. So
And then Kerrigan next?
Yes.
Yeah, Phoenix has to use carriers, which are very on a mutation like this. Who's top of C?
doesn't
Aden Horner?
On Horner. Yeah.
Okay, and then
Then.
Han and Hoarder because their top bars can't be stopped by PDDs.
Yeah.
Raynor's Hyperion can be definitely stopped by PDDs. Even Yamato from the Hyperion can be stopped by a
well,
PDD.
you know who else cannot be stopped by point defense drones? Artanis.
His dragoons. Well, he just has a lot of them.
Well, I
but-
mean the top bars. When we're talking about top bars,
the top bar.
they can't stop Artanis's. Imagine a point defense drone stopping the power field. Wait, where do I weapon stop? Oh no!
That'd be the biggest slap in the face to Artanis.
As if he doesn't have
As
enough
if he didn't
slaps
have
to his
enough.
face already.
Yeah.
Okay. So Artanis second in B or second in C or Raynor.
I put Han Horner, Raynor, Artanis. That's my order.
Are you okay with that, Evil Lane?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, Yeah, I'm all for that.
Okay, so D. Do we agree that Vorazun is the worst?
Well, D tier.
E-
Now that Alarak's in D, I kind of I'd be, if I'm different to Twotuuu. If he says Vorazun is better, I'd be willing to lean that way. Yeah.
I think
it doesn't matter.
if he's massing
because they're D
Corsairs,
tier.
she's gonna mass Corsairs. Her way of killing the shuttles, especially the last ones, is much more reliable than Alarak's.
Okay, so Vorazun?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. Now for synergies. Do we have combinations of B tier and below who are better than Zeratul on his own?
B tier or below, you said.
B tier and below.
Well, Abathur's issue with P1 is the early game. So someone like Zagara.
Zagara, of course, the top 2 in B. How about Kerrigan and Alarak? So you can overcharge the Omega Worms, and then
As long as PD's not
Mothership
interfering with that.
or Mothership and Kerrigan go on offense, or at least Mothership can go out and get vision for the Omega Worms, and then just have both armies at home or in the worms, just pop out when they need
Like
to.
you have two commanders to do what Zeratul can do by himself.
Yeah, kind
Making
of.
static defense.
That is literally the question. Do commanders who are better than Zeratul on his own?
But that's just equal. It's not even better.
Oh, it's not even better. Okay, so do we have anyone else be below?
Speaking of Alarak and
Kerrigan
Kerrigan,
Raynor?
Kerrigan Raynor? Oh, Raynor with the
Because
bunkers.
Kerrigan gives him more money so that he
Oh,
can
yeah.
make more battle cruisers faster.
Makes sense. Yeah.
and then the other aspect, if you have Kerrigan and Omega Worms, it can
Raynor
make
can
bile feasible, since you have
Oh yeah.
Really?
kind of treat them like hydras in some sense.
Yeah, just pop out, destroy the shuttles, and pop back in. Assuming you don't get black hold and fungold
Exactly.
and secret missile.
If you do,
I would
it's
just
Raynor.
melt
You can
it.
just drop more, but
I think
um,
Kerrigan and Raynor. Yeah, I think that can be slightly.
I don't know if that's better
Than
the
Zeratul on his
S-tiers,
own.
but they're
Well,
it's
Raynor can
pretty
scan
good.
or drop Marines to provide vision for So Kerrigan doesn't even have to go out. She can just stay in the Omega Worm, and Raynor can drop a Marine or scan. Then Kerrigan can pop her worms and then delete the army.
I mean, if you're controlling one Kerrigan, you can just walk around the map. You can walk past Lavaverse, and you're paying attention to her, right? So you just walk past.
That's true.
and when you don't want to pay attention to her anymore, you pop a Omega Worm and put her in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So speaking of Alarak and Kerrigan, you can do Kerrigan and Vorazun if you're going with mass stalkers. So again,
Kerrigan
kind of
Vorazun.
same deal. Just have a bunch of stalkers come out as soon as the Omega Worm comes out, and blink them, and then get the job done, get out.
Okay, I guess that's all for the synergies. Guys, watch Twotuu's channel. I will link it down below, and I'll see you guys next time.